I see your messages. Hello, everyone. So my topic is from sounds to reading, implementing phonics in the classroom. This webinar will be very useful, I think, to all teachers, not only primary school teachers, because reading is really an important step in learning the language. So you see, okay. Mhm. Um, Yes, Aidana has already introduced me and told almost everything. So I just want to share my Instagram here. If you'd like to follow me, you can find some useful tips on my Instagram as well. I share some ideas that you can use in the classroom. Today's webinar is going to be more practical. I'm not going to share some scientific I know researchers behind how to teach children to read. I want to share practical tips that you can use and implement in your classroom right after the webinar. First, I want to ask you a question. How did your students learn to read in English? You can switch on your microphone and answer, or you can type and we can read it. Why pomegranate teacher? Yes, it is related to my name. By the way, I think I've taken the idea from Ali teacher. His Instagram is called Kiwi with horse meat. So I still remember his Instagram because it's really like a strange name for the teacher's account. That's why I decided, hello. Yes, I decided to pick up this idea. And yes, many people ask why Anara, why this name? And it translates as pomegranate. That's why I decided to pick up this nickname for myself. So yes, let me read. I recently implemented phonics for reading and have just learned about from phonics to reading. Yes. A fruit, a fruit army of teachers, right? Yes. Also, I have a sister. Her name is Alma. Alma is translated as an apple, right? Fruit family. Okay. Mhm. Because we were really struggling with how to start. Yes. Uh, what is important with teaching reading is that we need to follow the natural order of language development. So it is important that if, for example, a child is starting to learn an English with you, you can't start from reading straight away because the first that you need to teach is speaking. This is how children learn their first language, right? Acquire, not learn, they acquire. They listen to you, how you speak to them. For example, you ask them, do you want water? And you show, do you want water? Like in Kazakh or Russian language, for example. And this is how they understand that words are connected with things around them. So first, of course, listening and speaking. After that, only you can go to reading and writing skills. Spoken language is natural, as we know that children acquire it like from people, from immersion, because they are immersed, and reading is artificial. This is something what people invented. That's why we need to teach it at school. Common challenges. Students might know the alphabet but cannot read words. It's a common challenge. A lot of teachers still think that first we need to teach the alphabet, then they can learn how to read words, but this doesn't work. And students guess words from pictures. They might know that the picture of a book, they know it's a book, but if they see this word, they cannot read it. Students memorize instead of decode. Sometimes they might just memorize that this word is book. They see it and they might memorize some words, but when they see unfamiliar words, they struggle because they cannot read, they cannot decode. So now I want to share my experience, how I taught 100 first graders to read in English. There is also one important thing that I need to say about my experience is that they came to me like first graders. Some of them, okay, they had some background knowledge. They knew some words. Some of them they could speak even, right? And level was really different. Their level of English was quite different. And the thing is that we had to teach all skills at the same time, like reading, writing, and speaking. And even though you have 5 lessons a week, the main program is based on reading, and I had to organize other activities so that I can teach them speak and write as well. That was the problem with our program. Sometimes we have a program at school and we don't know what to do it. Even if we don't like it, we have to follow it, but we can, of course, adjust it so that it is beneficial to our students. So phonics is a method of teaching reading that helps children connect letters and sounds and use these relationships to read words. The first mistake that teachers do, they start from teaching the alphabet. Don't do it because you will confuse them. Some of them, for example, they know the alphabet. They've read it somewhere, they've seen it, or maybe in the kindergarten they learned the alphabet. But how does it help them to read? For example, they know it's a W, but they don't know it's W. It gives W sound. That's why they cannot read. They know the alphabet, but they cannot read. Or this letter, Y. So we know it is Y, but it doesn't help to read because the sound is Y, yo-yo, yacht, yogurt, and so on. So that's why it is important to teach the sounds first and then maybe introduce the alphabet. The way I did, I started from teaching sounds first, and then in January or even in December, I don't remember, I introduced the alphabet. So I think it was really beneficial for them. So first they started reading, then they understood that the alphabet is a little bit different. There is a correct order to teach phonics. First, you start from letter sounds, then you teach them to blend 2 letters, then you teach them to blend 3 or 4 letters. Then there are more difficult sounds like digraph, diphthongs. And the last stage is spelling rules. We have some rules like magic E, C, O, K. So I introduced it at the very last stage. First, we start from letter sounds. For example, we know that this sound is K. So first I taught them it is K sound. They didn't know the letter is C, but you can do it at the same time. For example, you can teach them that C says K. Letter C says K, or something like that. It's up to you, but I've decided to do it later. So I've taught them the sound K. You teach them some words, for example, cat, cup, cow, some short words like corn, easy words that they can use. And you can find a lot of activities. It's very important not just to explain them that it's cat, this is cat, cow, and so on. They need to do something with their hands because movement is very crucial to children. When they do something with their hands, they memorize it better. When they like the lesson, it stays in their memory for longer because emotions help us to teach children, right? If they are emotionally engaged, they will remember it. Next step is blending. Then you can, after they recognize some sounds, for example, at least 10, you can start teaching them how to blend. For example, b, e, b, k, e, k, and so on, like b, e, b, k, e, ki. You can do it like automatically like this with different lists, or you can create a presentation and make it more engaging. I found a lot of presentations on Twinkle website. You can use them, so it is more interactive. The next step is CVC words. We start teaching them how to blend 3 or 4 sounds. So again, we are not only using lists because it is very boring to children. So you can find a lot of ideas on Pinterest or on Twinkle. So we used to create such books, which were very interesting for them to do it with their hands. And at the same time, they are learning how to read. Next. the website, which is it's a great tool at the beginning. So there are some books to each sound. For example, we are learning CVC words, and there are a lot of books which are connected with the CVC words. For example, the first book I want to show, The Cat on the Mat, it gives them the sense of achievement at this stage, that they feel like they already can read. You can cut it, create a book, they can color it, they can highlight maybe sight words or do other activities. And there are books to all sounds, like if you are learning short E sound, or other, for example, long vowels, E, you can find the books, cut them, color them, and use it in practice. And they feel very proud of themselves because they now can read. The next step, you do it at the same time while you are teaching them how to blend sounds. You need to teach them to read sight words. Sight words are words which you can frequently meet them in children's books. So you don't need to do it on yourself to research which words you can find very frequently in a children's book. Fry and Dolge have already done it for us. Thanks to them, we have a list of such kind of words, and you need to teach them to read them by looking at this word. They don't have to blend sounds or something, because many of them, they do not follow any rules. So that's why you just need to teach them to memorize. When they see the word the, they need to read it like the. They see the word some, you don't need to explain that the last letter is like magic E and so on. You just have to say, just this is some, that's all. And they need to memorize it. You can, for example, pick up 3 words each lesson, and step by step, they will be able to read more sight words. Yes, a lot of activities. Again, you can find ideas everywhere on the internet. And one idea that I liked is sight word poems. I've printed a book for them, and this is how I was teaching them to memorize some important words. For example, like I can't at this stage, when they are only can blend 2 or 3 sounds, I cannot teach them other rules. So I just want them to memorize that this is like, this is see, and they just can highlight these words in poems and memorize. They also can read it. For example, I see a fat cat is manageable at this time when they can read CVC words. They can again color it. It helps them to memorize, and this tool that I used was really helpful. The next stage, we are starting to introduce digraphs. This stage is really interesting because we start to confuse them. I was explaining that this is S sound and this is H, and now I say that these 2 letters, when they are friends, they stand side by side, they mean sh, and they start to feel confused. But it is getting more and more interesting at this time. We've done a lot of activities. That's why they memorize it well. They know it's sh, they know it's ch. You can find a lot of books, again, activities that you can do. You can find a lot of videos on YouTube and introduce these rules through videos. And one of my favorite channels is Smile and Learn, but there are a lot of good channels. This is one that I used, and they are not long. Of course, it is not like you're going to use cartoons all the time. 2-3 minutes a lesson, that's enough just to introduce, and they are interested. They want to watch something, right? Because they are tired from writing and reading. So, for example, sh, I, p, sheep. Now they understand like that these 2 letters, when they stand together, it is sh, and they can now read more words. Then consonant blending. The next step is for example, if CVC words, we blend consonants and vowels. Now we just teach them how to blend consonants like b, l, black, cl, clap, full, flower, and so on. So this is really helpful. Just to maybe they are able to do it, but when we practice it, they will do it faster. So their reading becomes faster. Next, again, long vowels, the same. You introduce long vowels, again, the same activities you can find. Diphthongs is really important. And the last stage is spelling rules, for example, magic E. And they sometimes ask when these two letters, both of them, both these letters give sound K, and they start asking themselves when I write this C and when I write this K, and they start asking themselves. And it is the last stage. So the book that we use in our school is called First Steps. So Marshall Cavendish, the editor, and this is a great tool to introduce like sounds, right? Phonics. But which is good about this book is that we have 24 or 26 books to each step. And for example, you want to introduce the sound K, and there is a book about this sound. And if you want to introduce the, I don't know, diphthong sh, there is a book with these words, and you are teaching them how to speak as well and to read at the same time. Okay. Okay, yeah. No problem. Next one. Okay. So individual reading is really important step, because some students, they still struggle. They require so that you help them a little bit, because you know, students, they acquire information differently. Some of them, they do it really fast. Some of them, they struggle a lot. That's why I sometimes used to stay with them individually. Next one is, it is very important to pay attention to comprehension, because one drawback, I would say, of phonics program, that they learn to read words automatically, but they struggle with comprehension. So you need to keep it in mind and to do both at the same time. So these activities that we did, for example, small, again, texts, of course, as you know, more words, they become more difficult like this. But at the beginning, I used to work with such kind of short texts, and we used to work with comprehension. I used to ask them questions, and they read, for example, who is Sam? They need to find, to understand who is Sam in the text. Such kind of tasks are really useful. Next one, fast finishers. Of course, you will have fast finishers, because some children, they can do it very fast, very quickly. That's why I used to have my own folder where I put different like additional tasks, because I don't have a classroom. I just rush from one classroom to another. That's why I had a folder for fast finishers with extra activities. But you can, if you have a classroom, an English classroom, you can put a poster like this. I am done, now what? And they know that if they have finished earlier, they can come and pick up some tasks, activities, and they will not distract other children. Decoding words. Yes, when we learn different rules, it is very important that they find it in the text very quickly. So I used to give them such texts, and they need to find certain sounds. For example, we were learning oi here, the lost toy, and they need to find oi throughout the text. It really helps them to read faster. And here, decoding tasks, they need to split the words into sounds, and they do it on their own. Look, they know that these two letters give one sound. So such activities, again, helps them to decode and to be able to read, to understand that sometimes two letters, they give only one sound. Movement in the classroom. It is an important step that you need to keep in mind, that children learn when they move. You cannot ask them to sit the whole lesson and listen to the teacher. Movement, if the movement is involved, they will learn faster. incorporate writing. So you need to start teach them to write at the same time. For example, if they know already some rules, some reading rules, you can start teaching them how to write. So you can use different activities like this. For example, here is a book. They see the book and they just write all the sentences. It was maybe in the second half of the year. And here they were just labeling words. For example, gr, we were learning this, we were learning how to blend these two sounds, and they had to label, for example, grasshopper. They know it's a grasshopper and they write it here. Next one, neuropsychological activities. It is very important for when you work with children, especially first graders, to have some breaks. If you are writing, for example, you need to have a break in the middle of the task because sometimes they are tired and they can't see, they want to move, or sometimes they just want to breathe. I used to teach them how to breathe. So how to meditate, it helped them, to concentrate and to continue the lesson. So there is a book about neuropsychological games and activities. I've taken a lot of ideas from that book. The next one, I've told you that I use cartoons. For example, if the rule is boring and you need to explain it, sometimes children, they don't want to listen. If they are tired or it's just not interesting just to listen to the teacher, you can use cartoons. It's a great tool. Next one, speaking first, I told you that if you are only starting this English journey with your students, never start from reading. First speaking, then reading. Because even if they can read, it doesn't mean they can speak, they can comprehend. So it's really important to introduce it later after teaching them some sentences, after teaching them how some vocabulary. Next one, what I did, I prepared some students who were really good at English. They were interested in the lesson. I prepared them for Cambridge exams, starters. You can do it in the first grade. If you have English classes, English lessons 5 times a week, you can do everything. You can teach them how to write, you can teach them how to read, you can prepare them for Cambridge exams, and so on. So, yes, and here the last thing that I want to share with you is the results. So here, January 2026, this is my first A grade. We have 20 students in each grade. And you see that in January, they were able to read, for example, let's say 30, 40 words approximately average. And then in April, they were able to read more words. Of course, we have problematic students. That's true. Some of them, they skip a lot of lessons. They are not engaged. They are not interested. Sometimes we struggle. Of course, we stay with them. Sometimes they don't stay with us after lessons. So it can be a problem. But many of them, you see, most students were able to read more words in a minute. And we had a program, Kids AZ. It's a platform where they read books. And some of them, you see, they have read only one book in a year. And some of them, they've read, for example, 262. Of course, it helped her to read faster. Another first D, the same. Almost all of them were able to read more words. Some of them, nothing has changed, 40, 41. We have, different abilities. First E, for example, this class were able to read faster. And here, for example, I don't know how it happened. He used to read 48 words, and in April, only 40. By the way, the book was more difficult in April because I've changed. I've picked up another book because they were able to read faster, and they were able to decode more sounds. That's why we picked up more difficult book. Maybe this also influenced on their reading abilities. So yes, that's actually all that I wanted to say. If you have any questions, I would be happy to answer. Yeah, let me check. 262 books. Yes, amazing result. They were really interested. And parents were very supportive.
Okay. There is a member who wants to ask a question. Yulia.
Yes, thank you, Anara, for your presentation, specifically for your channels, mention of the important platforms. I'm also very passionate about primary teaching, especially reading. But my context is a little bit different. I'm from a state school, so we start reading from the third grade. Yes, and maybe next time you could share something about this program A to Z. More, because we know that some teachers can afford it, but some just can use some free versions. Maybe you can tell some words about this program now.
About
A to Z. Yes.
Yes, it's a great platform. Yes, and our school, yes, I work in a private school. That's why they pay for this program, and all children from our school, they have access to it. I understand that, yes, for state schools, it may not be a tool that they can use, but you can find a lot of books for free on Telegram channels. If you use Twinkle, for example, you can use Twinkle as well. And on Twinkle, you will be able to find different books. You just need to give it like according to their level, which is really important. For example, if they only can read CVC, you need to find the books which are appropriate for this level. If they can learn more, if they can read more, so yeah, it has to be appropriate. I think, yes, if you text me later, I can find some websites and share with you where I find books. But on Twitter, they are very interactive.
Yeah, definitely. We need to collaborate because I have lots of questions about your resources that you prepare. I also watched from your short videos that you have a lot of ready-made materials. Do you make them yourself? This worksheets?
No, I use different platforms like Teachers Pay Teachers. What other? Twinkle mostly. Sometimes I can find them for free on Pinterest. Pinterest is a great source. You can find a lot of free materials there.
Thank you.
Okay, let me check questions in the chat.
There was a question about the videos. Are they from your school?
Yes, from my school. These are my students, first graders. More creativity and work. So I greatly appreciate your so useful methods, materials. Yes, teaching kids, I think, is harder. This is my first year when I started working with kids. Before, I used to work with adults and with teenagers. That's why I understand that teaching kids is harder. It requires more energy, more creativity, more like passion, and you need to be very patient.
What about your plans for next academic year, Anara? Are you still going to continue teaching primary?
Yes, I will be working with them. We will continue working with the same children. So yes.
Okay, great. I wish you good luck.
Yeah, thank you. Do you have a specific order of phonics? Yes, I have shared it with you.
Yeah, and could you tell us what do usually students are able to do at the end of the first year?
At the end of the first year, they are able to read. Even, for example, they don't understand the word, but still they can read the word. At the end of the year, they know more words, they improve their vocabulary. Speaking as well, we had a lot of speaking tasks. They are able to give you short sentences, like, for example, I don't know, I can sleep, I can do this, or I see a cat. This cat is black and white. So some short, like simple sentences, they are able to produce and to describe like some pictures as well. But in terms of reading, they are able to read any text, so any book. If you give them, they are able to read it. But it, of course, requires time. So we were able to do it only maybe in April or in March. We started to read like different books. Any book that you give them, they're able to read it.
Thank you.
Mhm.
And maybe the number of hours in a week matters. Yeah,
Yes.
because
Yes.
with 2 weeks,
Mhm.
some students still struggling even until the end of the second year with
Right.
the reading.
Mhm. Yes, of course, it's really important because we have English lessons 5 times a week. So that's why we were able to do everything like at the same time, reading, speaking, I don't know, preparation for the exam, and different extra activities. But if you have English like 2 or 3 times a week, you need to see like what is more important. So for example, if they don't know English at all, of course, you need to start from introducing vocabulary first. You need to teach them how to speak. And later, maybe next year, you can start introducing the reading part. But of course, it depends on the program that you are following at school. Sometimes you just have a program and you stick to it. You need to do everything as well at the same time. So yes, it depends on the program.
Thank you so much, Anara. Dear members, if there are any questions that you would like to ask, feel free to ask them or send them in the chat. We have this little tradition that by the end of a webinar, we all switch on our cameras and take a group photo. If you don't mind, if you're able to do so, please switch on your cameras and let's take a group photo, which I will share in the chat and on our Instagram as well. Okay, let's wait until everyone is ready. Okay, so I'll count to 3 a few times to make sure that everything is okay. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Smile. Okay, one more time. 1, 2, 3. And one more, the last time. Okay, thank you so much. I would like to remind everyone that the recording of this webinar will be uploaded on our platform, and I really hope that everyone knows how to access that platform. If you do not, please contact KZLT representatives who are responsible for the membership. They will share with you your username and password that you will be able to change. It is a very important thing because we store all the recordings on one platform. You have access to, enormous number of webinars. So if there are any questions, please don't hesitate to contact. I will upload the recording very soon, and you'll have some time to watch it, maybe if you were late, and then share feedback that I will post on the WhatsApp chat. And if you complete the form, you will be able to get the certificate of attendance. And I would like to thank Anara one more time for your time, for sharing this amazing experience. We all know how hard it is to work with primary kids, especially in a private school. Yeah, and we wish you good luck. And we hope that your students will demonstrate better and more amazing results in the upcoming academic year.
Thank you, Aidana. Yes, and thank you all of you for joining the webinar. If you still have some questions, you can always contact me on Instagram.